Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And my kids are back at school, so everything's back to normal, so I'm going to try and catch up a bit this week if possible. So continuing the overview of the Chinese TDs, hopefully I'm not too late with this one. We're up to tier 5. Everybody seemed to like the format, so I'm going to cover tier 5 and 6 in this video, 7 and 8 in the next, and then possibly consider doing a single video each for sort of 9 and 10, but I'll see how it goes. So anyway, tier 5 in the Chinese TD line, the 60G FT, and like I said before, the FT just seems to be, well, the G and the FT just seem to be a designation for these TDs. And again, gun-wise, it's very comparable to the tier 5 Russian TD, the Su-85, although this gets better aim time, slightly worse accuracy, and but an increased rate of fire. And I'll just have a quick look. And something else that I seem to have noticed about these is that the grinds don't seem to be particularly terrible. They're not like, you know, some of the tanks and some of the TDs are particularly harsh grinds. These don't seem to be overly bad from what I've seen, but then again, I've not done the grind, so it's just, you know, from sort of having a quick look at it. But anyway, you end up with the top gun on it. 145 pen, which I think is one more than the Su-85, 180 damage, same. 12.5 rounds a minute, which is quicker, that's got 10. Faster aiming time at 1.7 seconds, but slightly worse accuracy, I think at 0.38. I think that's slightly better on the Su-85. But yeah, it's not bad. You get a decent hull traverse of 35 degrees a second as well. It's not quite as stealthy as the Su-85, it's quite tall, as you can see, it's quite large. Quite a large machine, but yeah, it's not bad. It's not got quite as decent armour either. It is quite sort of paper thin armour wise. In fact, you're only looking at 25mm on the front, 20 on the sides, and 20 on the rear. So it is a, you know, a more traditional sort of tank destroyer role. Stay back, try not to get spotted. Concealment, again, not great, to be honest. It is a big machine. It's quite tall, so 0.22 stationary and 0.14 on the move. So yeah, not the best concealment. So it is definitely a sort of stay back, let other people spot for you. But it's fairly mobile. But we'll get into the gameplay, and I'll sort of talk a little bit more about it sort of over the gameplay bit. So yeah, what you end up with the 60G FT is something very similar to the Su-85. But the gun, like I said before, the gun stats are a bit different. You get a higher rate of fire, but you do sacrifice armour for that. And that was lucky with that arty. If that had penned, that would have really done some damage. I think that hit my gun mantle. But yeah, the armour on this is pretty poor. But as I said in the garage, it's fairly mobile. You have a power to weight ratio of just over 17 horsepower per tonne, and as you just saw there, the hull traverse is pretty nice as well, as you just saw me sort of pulling back and spinning around. So yeah, it does have nice hull traverses, and yeah, that was a bit of a show-off shot, that one. I didn't really need to include that one where he was jumping over there and I managed to hit him, but you know, it is what it is. So I mean, this is against is that? Oh no, it's Panzer 1C. So against some of the lower tier, sort of, you know, the tier 3s, because you are going to come up against them, the tier 3s and things. You know, the armour can stand a little bit, but yeah, it's essentially sort of paper armoured. With just enough protection to protect you from some of the sort of tier 3 lights, etc. And it's not overly stealthy either, as I said before, but it, like I say, it's fairly mobile, let other people spot for you, and the gun, especially with the increased rate of fire, is quite nice. And the accuracy, it's not bad. It doesn't, or it didn't tend to let me down overly often. So moving on to the tier 5, and this is where we go back stealthy again. The tier 6 is not particularly stealthy, but this is where it sort of goes back stealthy again. And this is a stealthy tank. In fact, this has got sort of Borsig levels of stealth. So it is a sneaky little bugger. Again, not particularly well armoured. It's a WZ-131GFT. It is based on the WZ-131 light tank, so it is a mobile TD as well, as you can probably guess from that. But again, I'll cover that sort of a bit more in this over the gameplay, just show you a little bit of it. But yeah, with this one, you don't get the same sort of level of gun that you do on the is it the SU-100 at tier 6, which I think can have the 122 if I remember rightly. Been a while since I've been through that line, so I'll just check just to make sure. Been a long time since I've been sort of through there. I've not gone all the way up the line, but it's been a while since there. Yeah, that can have a 122mm, so I mean that ends up 4.6 rounds a minute, 175, 390. But if you compare it to the, or it can have an 85. Is that it? Oh no, it can have 100mm, but you lose. Yeah, you lose the engine if you have the 100mm on this one. 175, 250, 7.79 rounds a minute. So I'll sort of use that as a bit of a comparison, obviously, as well as the 122. Yeah, I just had to brush up a bit there. So with this, as I said, based on the light tank, the WZ131, you end up with an 85mm. In fact, the gun off the last tank is your stock one, and then straight away you get your top gun, and it's just working out your engine and tracks. But you get a 100mm gun, 7.5 rounds a minute, same as 100mm on the SU-100. But obviously, you know, that gets the 122, so that gets a much slower rate of fire, but lower pen than this at 175, but higher damage at 390. But this has got 181 pen and 250 damage, 241 on your premium, 2-second aiming time, and a fairly decent accuracy at 0.36. Very good hull traverse at 45 degrees. Don't forget this is a TD, and well, gun traverse doesn't really make a much difference on a TD, does it really? Because you're just moving your gun from side to side a little bit. So yeah, based on the light tank, so it's got decent mobility. Again, it's not really got decent armour though, as I'll show you. Power to weight ratio though, 21.5, so it's nippy, 50 kilometers an hour. Where are we? What was I looking at? Armour wise, that was it, yeah, armour. So yeah, not brilliant. You do have 70mm, but it is just that part of the gun mantle there, so really nothing to write home about in sort of terms of armour. And in fact, your basic armour figures are 35 on the front, 20 on the sides, and 20 on the rear. So again, not a particularly well armoured machine, but very, very sneaky. In fact, 0.41 stationary and 0.24 moving, which I think is the same as the Borsig. I think that's exactly the same as it, or it might be at sort of 0.01 better on stationary. So you do get, like I say, a sort of a mobile, poorly armoured but very mobile TD that is very, very sneaky. And again, let's have a look at the actual gameplay. I'll talk a little bit more out of it there, and you'll see just how sneaky this thing can be. So with this one, instead of just using clips of gameplay, I'm going to use this whole match, and it's this is a tier 6 TD, don't forget. This is a tier 8 match, so a lot of the stuff in here is going to have a lot higher, well, most tier 6s that aren't TDs have generally have a higher view range than the TDs, and this being a tier 8, a lot of the stuff in here will have sort of, you know, quite good view range. Now, I have no camo net on this. I did change my equipment. I'm not, you know, I'm not getting into equipment or anything like that. This is just an overview of them, as I said before. But the reason I'm using this whole match is because I think it possibly highlights most of the features about this tank. Whereas, you know, I could have shown a few clips, but I think this match has sort of got all the sort of bits in it, and it's kind of mostly to sort of show you the sneakiness and how stealthy this tank can be, because I did change the equipment loadout then, like I say, that I've put on this, and when I saw it was based on the light tank, I decided to go for a gun laying drive, a gun rammer and binoculars, not a camo net, because of its stealthiness. So there is no camo net in this. Now, admittedly, it is a full skill crew. That will affect it, because obviously they will have muffled shot, they will have camouflage, they will have, you know, green thumb, etc. All the various skills to go with camo and everything. So that will affect it. I don't know how much it'll affect it. Green thumb, well, I'm not in any voltage. I'm behind a bit, but I'm not in it. And it does sound green thumb that affects it while it's in it. So do bear that in mind. But this is still a damn sneaky tank. Like I said, it's as stealthy as a Borsig. The tier 7 has got a higher camo rating than a Borsig. But yeah, hopefully this shows all sort of features of it. Now, I did turn there, so my camo rating will have gone down as I turned, and then obviously come back up again as I've sat still. But I think this should show you sort of how the gun sort of fares. I know that's you see, now I've been spotted. I've had to get quite close though, and there is a light tank up there as well, I think, spotting. But it's mobile. It's got good hull traverse, it's got a good power to weight ratio. Its terrain resistances are quite nice as well. Decent top speed of 50 kilometers an hour. So it's like I said, just there's not many other ways to describe it. It's a very, very mobile, very sneaky TD. Not very well armoured. Although it's got decent angling, but it might protect you at a distance from the lower tiered stuff. It's not going to protect you from the same tier, I wouldn't have said. Not with, I think, was it 35mm on the front. Like I say, even though it has got a decent angle, it's not really going to save you. But yeah, you end up with a mobile, sneaky TD with quite a capable gun. 181 pen's not bad, and you've got your premium to fall back on in case you need it. But I don't think I really need it in this match. There are some tanks I can think of that you'll see, tier 8s, Japanese super heavies. I'm looking at you. The VK, the tier 8, the VK 100-01P. You're going to have to probably use a bit of premium ammo against them because they are very, very tough frontally. You won't have to against the side. Oh, being spotted again. I think it's that light tank. But I didn't seem to get spotted until I started turning and my camo dropped a bit. And as I said before, not particularly outstanding battle from myself with my own performance. Took a hit there. Come on, get that reload in. Can I get him? Just got the IS. Now I'm not spotted again where I am here. But as you saw before, stuff was having to get pretty damn close to me to actually spot me. Oh, did I get him? I did. I did lead him, but somebody tracked him, and I thought that might have missed. But the rate of fire, yeah, 7.5 rounds a minute. Can't grumble at it, really. Can't really grumble at the pen either, to be honest. And it just seems to be quite a capable little TD. As long as you're not one of these people that likes your sort of, your tough breakthrough TDs. And you like your sneakiness, then you're going to enjoy this. And it does kind of remind me... It kind of reminds me of the Hidden, just with a bigger gun. And I think this is... I think if I go down the Chinese TDs, which, to be honest, there's a couple in there that do interest me. And I think if I go down them, this is possibly one that would end up staying in my garage. To have a run about in, because it's quite enjoyable. And again, I was fairly close there. Now I do apologise for the chat coming through. It's something I've just forgotten to do on this one. I keep forgetting to do it. Is to cut the chat down on it, like I have done on my own profile. But yeah, now you can, like I say, you can see the mobility of it now. It can get around the battlefield quite easily. Terrain resistances aren't bad. I don't think they're as good as they are on the actual light tank version, but then again, you don't want to be too OP. But I'm managing to get quite close up here. I'll get within auto detectability range, and that's when it'll spot me. There we go. Flick it around, just wait for the aim, do a bit of a lock on, a bit of a snapshot, back off. Nearly took a hit there, so I was very lucky. Now we're just going to try and wait to drop off Sixth Sense. Wait for it, there we go. Now, like I say, depending on how you want to play this would depend on the equipment. I'm not going to get too much into it, but you can see how stealthy this can be. And if you've got the right crew skills on this, and a camo net as well, then I can see you just being sort of almost bloody invisible to most of the stuff. And with me being forwards, I know, yeah, as you saw, most of our team and somebody was getting quite irritated with them, and I don't blame them. I was at the time. They were all sat behind me. Some fairly hefty things, but they were all just sort of, a good portion of the team were just sat near our spawn point. But with being sneaky and being able to sit further forwards and having the binocular telescope, I got some damn good spotting in there as well, some decent assisted. So it did get me an ace, but that was down to all the assisted rather than anything else. But there you go, rundown of the tier 5 and 6. I like the tier 6, and yeah, hopefully not too late with that one. So I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you, so until then, Take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.